Hello folks, welcome to Monday Night Live. What are we up to? 77, all the sevens. So lots and lots of people here. We've got Warren, Donnie, Rodney, Scott, Adrian, Lynn over on Facebook, on the YouTube. We've got Tony. We've got to talk about Tony a bit later on. Something to do with this here. But David and Lord Friday and Mark and Dave Allen, welcome all. Great to have you here. We've got a big night tonight. Veronica's here, Mick's here, Brothel. I know the young guns are watching, Mick and the crew up there. Ian, Michelle, Dan, Wayne, Dotty Bag. Should have been a bingo caller. I think I'd make a good bingo caller. So, righto. So apologies for last week. The main problem was I couldn't really stop sneezing. Sneezing was the issue last week. Anyway, the boss made me, well, she didn't make me go away, but we went away on the weekend. We went and took the young buck down to SeaWorld. So we had a couple of days down there, a lot of rest and relaxation. Now I've only got a croaky throat, so forgive me. Yes, so Kieran's here and Narelle and Robert. Legs 11. Lord Friday's worried about my legs 11. So yes, I'm still in my board shorts from the Gold Coast. So I only got back at lunchtime today. So right, so what are we doing tonight? We're going to do Cobb Co. A little late, but we're here. That's the main thing. Right, so before we get into Cobb Co, we've got, I'm going to touch on a couple of YouTube channels. We're going to touch on a big one that I actually learn a lot off, and we're going to start on a new one. We've got a pretty cool Brothel token found, so we'll look at that. We'll just have a quick chat about the gold price. We've got an old TV series we're going to regurgitate up. We're going to talk about the Cobb Co Festival, the Cobb Co Museum. We're going to give you an update on the lease. Right, there's a bit happening out there. We've got to talk about Tony and Sandy. And then prizes. Let's get on to the prizes. Tiger Digger. Right, these are double prizes from last week because I was a crook as a dog. So, Tiger Digger. This is the shorter one of the two diggers. So, it's up for grabs to either YouTube or Facebook tonight. Got really cool gold rat hats. So, we've got one of them to give away tonight. So, and then I've got down here, pardon me, we got a gold digger's mug. Right, unused this one. So we've got a gold digger's mug we're going to give away. We've got what I think is the best fines bag, mate. The Grey Ghost fines bag. This is the one with the wire in the top, so you can pull it open. It stays open, then push it against yourself. Comes with belt, front pouch, a pro pointer pouch, all sorts of stuff. Then we've got one of these jewellery loops. Pretty cool little jewellery loops with a light on one side. So they're pretty cool. Got to remember to turn them off. We got a set of scales here, digital scales. We got a what do you call these things? A sieve. Got a nice little sieve there. What else we got? I got to get this back in the box. And one thing I'm quite excited about, why won't that go back in the box, is we've got 2 Eureka patches to give away. Okay? Now, obviously, I'm pretty excited about Eureka patches, of course. But if you have a look on the other side of the Eureka patches, we've got brand new Gold Diggers patches there, so I'll throw that in with you with it too. Now these are prototypes. I've only got 5 or 6 of them of each. They will be available to purchase, as will these ones. So that's the Golden Spur mining one for the lease. So we've got that one going out as well, and that will also come with a Eureka patch, of course. So pretty cool patches. So if you're into patches, that's pretty cool. These Gold Diggers ones that we've done before, right? I really wasn't happy with the quality of them. That's why we didn't really sell them. So before we got these done, I wanted to see them and touch them and feel them, and these are dramatically better quality and more expensive, of course, than what the old ones were. The old ones I didn't like much at all. So, g'day, Dennis. Dennis is here for a good time. So that's stacks of prizes. So hopefully that makes up for a live stream free Monday last week. So yes, so lots of prizes, but I'm most excited about these two. Good patches. So I got to work out if I can con someone to put patches on shirts for me. That's the next project when we get more of these through. So there's lots been happening. There's been actually, I do want to have a bit of a chat about one thing. Lots and lots of chatter on Facebook, particularly about the MineLab price increase, and how a lot of people are saying it's all about the MineLab trying to make a buck, and I don't know whether that's quite right. It's a big price rise, but it's sort of, the Aussie dollar's been affected. I know there was the 2 machines in question, particularly the Gold Monster and the SDC. There was a lot of price competitive about that. So the price was always $4,000 on an SDC, but everyone discounted the crap out of it. So I think there's a lot more layers to it than just the increase in the gold price. So but I think the Australian dollar has affected it. Garrett's had a price rise. It was a substantial price rise as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we see other price rises from other companies. So so I don't know whether it's just about the gold price sort of thing. So, or even if it's about the gold price at all. These are big companies that, they sell detectors. They're not interested in the gold price sort of thing. So, so I don't like the thought of a company just putting up the price because of the gold price. I don't think that's completely but the discontinuation, I think it's gone. I think there's only very little stock left. If you want a GPX 4500, right, you got to get onto them quick smart because they're gone. And I can understand the economics of that, because people are buying 45s and not buying 5000s, and probably, with the price that they were, I can completely understand that sort of thing. That, like, the 45s are a quality machine. So I can understand people buying that instead of a 5000. You put an Evo coil on a 45, it's a killer machine. So, and it doesn't have a couple of the timings, and but it's still Daily Digger, Coin Chaser there. Garrett's going up too. Garrett's already gone up. So your Garrett machines are already gone up. They went up. So there's a lot to it. So now, to win the prizes, all you need to do is make one comment. Okay, one comment, you can make 50 comments, but only one counts in my little random draw selector thing. The randomizer, the steam-driven randomizer, as Warren so eloquently put it. So yeah, thanks for all your support over the last week or so. I've had lots of messages, people thanking me and wishing me well. I actually got a card this week. It's a beautiful card about a gold mine from, I won't show you the inside. They wrote a lovely note here from Tony and Sandy. And they gave me a pen, which I've already lost. No, I haven't. They gave me a really nice pen with Cobb Co on it. I think it's Brigalow, that pen. So, yeah. So, thanks very much, guys. That was very, very nice here. So, yeah. So, thank you. It's the only pen I've used since it hit my desk. So, thanks, guys. Okay. So, we do have to get through this pretty quick. But, let's just get up here. Let's have a quick chat. Since we talked about the gold price, we'll just have a quick look at the gold price, actually. We'll just zip across here. Let's get rid of that. So gold price. You'll see that graph. Whereabouts is it? Just there. Just there. That graph is the 30-year gold price. And you can see there it's 22.13 at the moment, constantly fluctuating, of course. That's a live shot, that one there. So you'll see those numbers up the top here change. But 2,200, and I think if we went for a gram, right, you can see, we'll just go there, gram, over $70 a gram. So yeah, absolutely amazing. The gold price. I cannot see that coming down. I can only see it going up with the state of the world. So yeah. So I think that's going to continue to go up. There's no doubt in my mind about that sort of thing. So yes. So right. Okay. Let's get into a bit of Cobb Co. Okay. And we'll start off with, again, Tony and Sandy have sent me some cool pictures. But let's just go back here and we'll put up a nice Cobb Co picture. How's that sound? Right. We've got stuff everywhere here. So Cobb Co coaches. Okay. So you've just got to bear in mind that Cobb Co. Let me get rid of me while we get out of the road of the coach here. So, so I'm going to rattle through this first bit, and it's really, I want to get to the end, and I'm worried I've got too much information. There's a big story on Cobb Co. And when we get to the date of when Cobb Co first started, we'll do another show about it because there's a lot of information about it. So we'll just rattle through the start of it there. So Cobb Co was started by Freeman Cobb, right? He was an American bloke from Massachusetts in 1853 at the age of 23. So bear that in mind. And it was established in Victoria to convey mail and passengers between the Port of Melbourne and the goldfields. So yeah, just an absolutely amazing thing from a 23-year-old guy to do. Now he did that Melbourne run to. I think they called them back then Forest Creek Diggings, which is now Castlemaine. End of January 1854. Okay, so, and he did it in half the time of his competitors. Okay, sorry, excuse me, half the time. There's two reasons. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll just throw this picture up here. This is not a Cobb Co coach, okay? This is an old English coach, okay? So these were the original, this is what they were using in Australia, okay? This is what the other companies were using in Australia. A big heavy coach like that, okay, it's not exactly the right coach, but it was the one just to describe the heavy axles in them. So they had heavy, rigid bodies, stiff metal springs. So Freeman imported these. Let me just grab this picture here. These Concord coaches, okay, lighter weight, lightweight, and they were resting on leather straps, so they used to rock all the way. They call them the braces sort of thing. And the second reason why he did it in half the time is because he put a horse changing station every 10 to 20 miles. Okay. Now this is important for detectorists. If you're into detectoring, right, 10 to 20 miles, that's 16 to 32 Ks between each stop. Okay. So that's an important thing to remember. So they did it in half the time. So therefore, they won all these contracts. So the mail contracts were the most important thing, as well as carrying passengers, sort of thing. So, okay. So ran really well, expanded dramatically. Through to sort of the 1870s. They'd started buying unrelated businesses sort of thing when the opportunity came up. Freeman Cobb sold out of it and was bought by a consortium of people. And there was a lot of businesses operating, like, say, for instance, the WA, Cobb Co was running in WA and South Australia, New Zealand, Japan, South Africa, but was nothing to do with the original Cobb Co. So, yeah. So, as a bit of an aside, when Freeman Cobb sold out, he actually went to South Africa and started in South Africa. So, quite an interesting little thing. As another aside, 1854, 23rd to 25th of October, Cobb Co ran 107 men from Melbourne to Ballarat for the Eureka Stockade, 107 troopers, actually, for the Eureka Stockades. Now, you could tell Cobb Co. I could tell when I read this, Cobb Co. weren't that keen on the troopers going out there. There's no doubt in my mind about that. They charged for 105 men, £840. Okay. Now, just to put that into perspective, okay, that's $70,000 in today's money. So when you think of Cobb Co. and you think, oh no, they ran the troopers out to the Eureka Stockade. The $70,000 charge for 100 blokes, 100 troopers to run out to this Eureka Stockade. So it's a decent amount of money. So while we're talking, the 1870s was really the peak of the Cobb Co. So they were travelling 45,000 kilometres a week over 11,000 kilometres of routes. So they stretched all the way from the Gulf of Carpentaria to the far south of Victoria. So, yeah, very, very interesting. Now, this coach pictured here is a southern coach. So used in Victoria and New South Wales. All the Cobb Co vehicles in Queensland were painted white. It was really, in its later days, it was run as a sort of a separate company. That's why they painted them white. So, yeah. So, And we'll have a little bit of a break from here because I just want to get through this beginning part. And if you think about travel in the 1870s, 1880s, 1890s, even into 1900, if you're in Sydney, you hear about in Melbourne, and you hear about the Gympie Gold Rush. How it generally worked is blokes would jump on a steamship from Sydney or Melbourne, and they would come up the east coast, land in Brisbane, right? For the Gympie example, for instance, land in Brisbane. They'd jump on a train, okay? And really, the coastal steamers were quite comfortable. Then you jump on a train that you can get up and have a wander around on, running on fairly smooth tracks. Again, quite comfortable, okay? Then you get on these things, okay, for your last, 100 Ks or 200 Ks, which could take you a few days. And you couldn't get off. There was nowhere to sleep. They rocked and rolled, and if the things got bogged, you had to get out and dig. Quite often you'll see on that coach there, and I'll show you on another coach, the brake levers on each side. The brake levers were on each side when they were running two up. So they'd have a driver, and then they'd have an armed guard, if you like, or a bloke with a shotgun. And those brakes on the side were to pull it up, sort of thing. But sometimes, if they weren't running an armed guard, a passenger would sit up there, and the passenger would have to help with the brake. So yeah, just absolutely amazing way to travel. If the river was flooded, that didn't normally stop them. They would swim the horses across. The blokes would swim across. And I read an interesting article today, actually, about how the women used to get floated across in big metal tubs. They used to have metal tubs, and they put the women and tow them across with the rope. So, so very, very fascinating. So that's sort of brings us through the Cobb Co stuff. We'll get into the detail of that in another show when Cobb Co started. Tonight we want to focus on the downfall and the last Cobb Co run. So right, I haven't paid any attention to any comments here. Well, let me just get up here. So lots and lots of comments here. I'm a million behind. Daryl likes the cruiser. I've got a big episode coming up in the next few weeks on the cruiser. I've been doing a lot of work on the cruiser. Me and the young bloke have spent a bit of time in that. So the cruiser there's a whole episode coming up on the cruiser. So lots of conversations about machines going on Facebook. I've got to ring Mick Nielsen. Mick's been trying to ring me. I haven't had a chance to ring you back, Mick. I'm coming. I'm going to ring you tomorrow for sure. So, right, okay. So, we'll come to a bit of this stuff later. Kyle's here. Tom's here. Metal detecting country, New South Wales. Nikki prospecting. I've got something about Nikki. Actually, we'll do that right now since she reared her head up. I've got the big and the small of YouTube channels who I like watching, okay, tonight. So the big and the small. We'll start off with the big, right? And this is really a guy who I actually learn a lot from, right? And seriously, sometimes I find it hard to watch, okay? Because he's a lunatic. Like, he's clearly, certifiable, right? But I don't know whether he'd like that. But anyway, this bloke here, Ask Jeff Williams, right? Ask Jeff Williams is the coolest prospecting channel. And my favourite is Slim. Slim's a skeleton. Slim's quite cool. But there's a lot of craziness. But mixed in with that craziness is a whole stack of very, very good information there, sort of thing. So, yeah. Steve, there's a new group in Wodonga. Great. Yeah, that's absolutely. CQ detectors are here, right? So, if you haven't subscribed to Ask Jeff Williams, some of you won't be able to watch it, right? I struggle at times to watch it myself because he goes well over the top. But geez, I'll tell you what, I have learned some stuff from that bloke. So, now we go to the other end of the scale. So he's got 150,000, Ask Jeff Williams. Then we go to a new channel, Nikki's Prospecting. Nikki she's right on this feed right now. She's just started off. She's got 50 subscribers. She's got probably 400 views. So I sort of like sort of supporting people that support this channel. So good on you, Nikki. Good on you for having a crack. I do like your videos. I like the beach detecting video you did today. There's a lot of there's a lot of cool stuff in those videos. They're quite short videos, but very, very, very cool. So congratulations, Nikki. You're a superstar already. So we got Grotty Gold. Hobo's here. G'day, Hobo. I hear it's pretty cool and miserable down your way. And Nikki, of course, won the prize the other night from the Metal Detecting World Championship. So maybe she'll be one of on the guest panel of detectorists. Maybe we can all throw questions at Nikki. So I don't know whether she'll be in that, to be honest with you. But anyway, so there's two channels to check out tonight. Both good channels. I both enjoy watching both of those channels. So, where's this other cup? Here we go. We got the Rat Cup tonight. Well, we got a few cups here tonight. So, why do we want to talk about Rat? Rat detecting, relic and treasure. Okay. Now, I'm far too big for this. Let's just shrink it down again. So, Andrew Austin, right? So, he's doing this thing for charity. Okay. It's you make a donation to a GoFundMe page. Okay. But it's he's doing a Christmas coin hunt, planted coins. You've got to find exactly the coin. Okay. So get over to Rat Detecting. If you're not on Rat Detecting on Facebook or if you're not on there, get on there because he's doing some really, really cool stuff for charity. He is really, really doing some really wicked stuff. So, so if you get a chance, get over there and get involved. It would be, And those coin hunts, he's getting coins planted all across the country. It's bigger than the last coin hunt. There's prizes. I know there's prizes coming from me, so I think there'll be decent prizes up. I don't think Rat Detecting has released that yet. So I'm not going to release it. I'm not going to spoil his surprise. You'll have to get over to his channel and have a look at the prizes there. So, yeah, Stacey's here. Belinda. Maddie's here. Steve Ford. Robert. Trina. David. Detector Bull. Detector Bull's got a YouTube channel too. We'll have to have a look at that. Nugs Money. Tony B in Hatfield, lots and lots. Shane Pascoe, Steve, Leanne, lots and lots of people there. Too many to mention. Victor's over here on Facebook, and Jason and Clyde and Laurie, and Donnie's always here somewhere. So Donnie tends to lurk on Facebook, I think. Robert and Daniel and Mick and Donna, Brad, Clinton, Chris, lots and lots of people. Right, so we've done that. We may as well do, this is not a bad find either. It's a brothel token found by someone who doesn't really want to be disclosed. So I'm not going to let him out. But Sam says Detector Bull has some cool videos. Okay, Detector Bull. Right, have to go and have a look at that. Bull. I'll go and have a look at that. But yeah, brothel token. Very, very cool. Found in Victoria. Just quite a unique little find. I like these rarities detecting. Yeah, so, yeah. What's this say? Nikki says, if I hit 100 subscribers, I'll come on the panel show. Oh, geez, Nikki. You might be in trouble there. Because I reckon you'll go 100 subscribers pretty quickly. Now, someone just mentioned the rat. You love the rat mug. I love the rat mug too. Right? Now, you can actually buy one of these mugs from Relic and Treasure. These guys on Facebook, subscribe to the channel. They've got some merchandise. It helps Andrew. What it does, it helps Andrew. So Andrew does all this stuff, okay? Andrew does this stuff out of his own pocket, sort of thing. So he's getting tokens made specifically for these events. He's paying for it. This stuff helps him pay for all that stuff. So he's got mugs and he's got stubby coolers and he's got hats and he's got, it's all good gear. So go and have a look at that. So good on you, Andrew, for doing that. And yeah. Yeah, it comes with a warning. You can't put it in a dishwasher and you can't microwave it. I think it's got something to do with this gold stuff on the front here. So yeah. Actually, it didn't come with a microwave warning. Does it come with a microwave warning? It does say on the bottom of the mug, microwave safe. But I suspect this may have changed that microwave safe warning. So yeah, I don't know whether that's safe to do. I think it's an experiment for, if someone does do it with a rat mug, I want a video of it. We'll put it on the show. So right. Okay. Yes, Andrew is awesome. Ian, how are you? Ian Watson from the UK. Nice to have you aboard, mate. It must be early in the morning there. So welcome. I hope the weather's treating you well over there. Hello. Cleggy's just made an appearance. So we may as well talk about the World Metal Detecting Championships. If you haven't got your ticket, you'd better get in quick. I hear they're selling fairly quickly, those tickets. And there is a lot going on. Yes, so Cleggy's in the house. Right. Yes. Okay. 11 Ian from the UK. So we've got a weather report from Ian. It's 11 a.m. over there. It's wet and cold as usual. So that sort of sums up. I spent 4 or 5 years over there in the UK. Wet and cold. I'd also had miserable times. So, yes. So, right. Okay. So let's get on to this second bit of Cobb Co. Okay. So, let's just put a Cobb Co. Let's get a coach up here. Make it a little bit more. Let's put Tony. Tony sent me some pictures. Tony and Sandy sent me some pictures. I think these are from the 80s. Okay, of the of friends of the family. A lot of these are reenactments at Surat, where the last Cobb Co run happened, and we'll get to that sort of thing in a minute. So, Cobb Co, okay, successful business, okay, under pressure from the railways mostly in the 1870s through to the 1910, under pressure. So they want to diversify. So they've decided to diversify, and they started off in cattle and sheep properties. They owned 11,000 square kilometres in New South Wales and was that miles or kilometres? I don't know. 11,000 square kilometres in New South Wales and Queensland. And the funny thing is, from sort of 1880 on, those rural properties actually made 10 times the amount of money than the coaching business did. So some of their investments were fantastic. Okay. However, I bought an iron ore mine at Lithgow, and it put the company £130,000 in debt. So that's about $20 million in debt. So you can see that that's a disaster. They signed up for a railway, putting a railway contract in between Glen Innes and Tenterfield in 1882. Disaster. Didn't get anywhere. Had to get someone else to do it, and they lost a fair bit of money on that. They bought gold mines and copper mines, and the Bathurst newspaper was established by Cobb Co. So lots and lots of bad investments, and bad investments that a lot of the partners, there were 6 or 7 partners in this. A lot of the partners didn't even know about some of these investments until after they happened. So really an all over the place sort of business sort of thing. So completely under pressure from the railways, because the railways were pushing further west into the Cobb Co routes. Just to give you a bit of an idea here, let's get rid of me. Let's get rid of me completely. So this is a map of Queensland. The double lines you can see, actually, let's just get me back so I can just point at these double lines. These double lines you see just in here, right? Just along there. Right, I'll get rid of me now. The Cobb Co routes, okay? So as you can see, running out from Brisbane all the way to, I think that's Roma or somewhere like that. Maybe it's Charleville, actually. But and those Cobb Co routes were just swallowed up by the railway, kilometre after kilometre after kilometre. As Queensland developed, and as Victoria developed, and New South Wales developed, the Cobb Co routes got pushed further and further out, sort of thing. So the big routes, the profitable routes, were the first to be replaced by railways. In 1890, the railways had pushed people that hard, pushed out that far, that in 1890 Cobb Co ceased to operate as we think about Cobb Co in Victoria. New South Wales followed shortly later, but they lost a lot of the mail contracts. A lot of the money was in the mail contracts, okay? And so the mail contracts when they could use the rail, they'd use the rail. It was cheaper, more efficient. Problems. So Queensland hung on for a dramatically longer period of time simply because of the size of the place. There's the Cobb Co. It's probably hard to see unless you've got a giant TV, but they're the Cobb Co routes in Queensland, and you can sort of still make out those double lines. So it got so bad that the coach works moved from Brisbane out to Longreach. Longreach? Geez, I don't know. My memory's gone. But out that way somewhere. It went west. So, and as the rails pushed out, they just got smaller and smaller and smaller. So, So then, okay, we're talking now we're getting into the 1920s here. So a few things happened in 1920. Well, after World War One, really. So the first thing that happened was that is World War One happened. Okay, so you've got a lot of ex-servicemen coming back to the country with not a lot of work on. So the government's made the part of the mail service. They sort of removed the contracts from the bigger companies and got the smaller one-man shows to deliver the mail. So that then created, and what they would do is they would still use Cobb Co on the main route, or they'd still use the rail on the main route, and then they would get small individual contractors to distribute it out. So Cobb Co, so they started to lose their mail contracts, particularly the profitable ones where they could get a lot of blokes on. Then, 1922, Qantas kicked off. So it was doing flights, mail, passenger flights, longer distances, and quicker, more efficient, more comfortable. So Qantas contributed to that. So then we get to 14th of August 1924. Mail service number 177. Last coach trip between Yulbar and Surat in Queensland. So Yulbar and Surat, just to give you a bit of an idea, is about a bit further over. I'm not quite big enough. Hang on a sec. It's about there, where my finger is. About there somewhere. Yulbar and Surat. So, So that was the end of it. Okay, that was the end of the stagecoach era. The Cobb Co didn't close then. Cobb Co continued on for another 5 years or so, and they had stores, they had general stores, they had a few different things. They'd sold their, due to their big losses in their mines and the railway contracts they tried to pick up, they had, so they'd sold a lot of these good assets. And then they also got into a bit of, they tried to get into the vehicles, the new automobiles, vehicles that came out, and didn't have much success with that. So, so they ended up in debt, and they closed up in 1929. Now that ended a really big era for Australia, because for 75 years, Cobb Co had provided communication and transport all across the country. The Cobb Co, the original Cobb Co we're talking about is on the east coast, but similar things happened all across the country. Victoria was first to get out, to move on. New South Wales next, Queensland next. WA stayed around a lot longer. South Australia stayed around a lot longer. But that's what really happened to them, sort of thing. So, yeah. So, and that's the way of modern technology. Whether you're talking modern technology in 2019 or you're talking stagecoaches in 1920. So that's just the way of the world, I'm afraid. So the next detector that comes out will probably find every speck of gold in Australia, and no one will go prospecting anymore. We'll have to go to the moon, or that's our next step. The moon, or what are they? Asteroids, or I wonder whether there's any gold on Mars. So, absolutely fantastic company. Did amazing things for 75 years in Australia. The name was later taken up. I think there's still a Toowoomba company called Cobb Co, and I think they did buses and trucks and all sorts of stuff. So the name lives on, but the original, if you like, the original spirit of the place sort of was left in 1929. Now, what else have we got here? So let's, we've got something. We've got a few more things here. We'll go back here. This is what we need. So we won't come to that bit yet. I've got to tell you something. I've discovered something. I'm going to play you a video. I've found in my travels. Okay, I haven't even had time to have a look at how many episodes, or I'm only going to play you a snippet. But there's a TV show based on our mate Freeman Cobb called Whiplash. Okay, so I'm going to play you just the intro, right? Because I really like some of this old historical TV stuff. So here we go.
Well, to cut a long story short, that's it, Chris.
Anyway, that's enough of that. But I'm going to go and sit down tonight, I think. Well, maybe not tonight, but at some stage. And I'm going to watch the original Whiplash TV series. I think that would be a quality piece of gear. I've never heard about that before, but that's the Freeman Cobb show. So based on his life. So, but I actually wasn't looking for that. I was looking for two things. So, pardon me. So, the I don't know how to operate this. So, Cobb Co Museum is based, I believe there's one in Victoria as well. This Cobb Co Museum I'm talking about has the National Carriage Collection, and it's based in Toowoomba. So there, if you want to go and see 30 stagecoaches and learn all about it, and you're going through Toowoomba, right, it is an awesome place to visit. They've got all sorts of, you can see on the side here, they got sulkies and gigs and wagons and carriages and coaches. Then there's a whole stack of other stuff they do, events and exhibitions. So blacksmithing, leather plaiting. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do. You know, that's a Toowoomba thing. Exhibitions. You know, there's all sorts of stuff there. It's not just the stagecoach thing. There's a carriage factory that they do up carriages and all that sort of stuff. So just an amazing bit of gear sort of thing to go and have a look at if you like. So apparently it's got a good cafe too. So the other thing I want to talk about is the last Cobb Co stagecoach run was 1824, Surat Yulbar. There's a Cobb Co festival on right now, 17th to 25th of August 2019, which they do a lot of reenactment stuff, all sorts of cool stuff. It's a real slice into an Australian outback history. So, again, if you're out there in that area, that's worthwhile checking out. There's a whole stack of stuff on there. That as you can see here, you know, museum displays, equine, bullock wagons, like Tanya Kernigan concert, if you're really into that. Camp oven dinner, that sounds all right. Trail rides, free camping in Surat. So lots of stuff on 24th and 25th. There's a lot here. Looks like the markets are on, and you know you can ride on a coach and all sorts of stuff. So if you're out that way, go and have a crack at that. And if you're not out that way, it's on every year. So put that on your list of things to do, the Cobb Co Festival. Yeah, so that's another fascinating thing to go and do. So that's the Cobb Co Festival there. And in fact, in Surat, right, this is the monument to the last stagecoach trip in 1924. So it's right outside I think that's the post office or something. So it's right outside. So yeah, absolutely fantastic thing. So what else have I forgotten to do here? We've got a lot of stuff to do actually. So the lease. I've got to tell you about the lease. I forgot to put the photos up of the lease. Let's just get us back here. Okay. So, why am I so small? Right. There we go. So, the lease. Okay. Had some people out there last week. I had two really nice guys who were deaf, but they had big hearing aids. They could hear a little bit. Got 5.2 grams. Fantastic fellas. We had a bit of a laugh, and yeah, it was good fun. But what was most interesting, we had Robert out there. Had 7 pieces for a gram, so lots of little tiny pieces. So yeah, just really interesting. So the spot's open for this weekend coming, the midweek and the weekend after. So if you're keen, there's not a lot of people coming out. It won't be jam-packed. If you want help with your detectors, setting them up, getting them going, knowing what you're listening for, I would, I'm out there next week. So so that's what's happening with the lease. Oh, I haven't mentioned the prizes. There's stacks of prizes. Jeez, I've been so slack. I've been talking too much. Stacks of prizes. Gold Rat hat tonight. So you just need to make one comment, right, to go in the draw. It doesn't matter if you don't make. If you make 50, you only get one entry. Cool patches with Eureka patches. I'm really stoked with those. Gold Diggers mugs going out. We've got a Tiger Digger. We've got nice little sieve here. Nice little, I think that'd be like a 3 or 4 mil sieve, maybe a 2.5 mil sieve. We've got, what do we got here? The world's greatest grey digger's pouch. Grey Ghost digger's pouch. Set of scales. Really, really cool loop with a light on them. Of course, all that stuff's available for purchase, except for those two at the moment. So, but they are coming. Okay, so we've talked about YouTube channels. We've got all the pictures up. We've talked about Rat. Right. So there is Daniel the Tiger's diggers are about $120. So yeah. So I'm gonna save the Great Leviathan. I haven't pronounced that quite right, but I'm gonna save that for my next Cobb Co one. Right? So it is a sensational little bit of gear. But I wanted to get into this bit just to sort of round things out. Why is this important for detectorists? Why is this history important? Right? And the reason it's important, right, is because when we talked about before, Cobb Co placed their changing stations every 10 to 20 miles, 16 to 32 kilometres. Okay? So Cobb Co, let me just get this up here. Okay? So Cobb Co every 30 kilometres. Okay? Well, not 30 kilometres, but you know what I'm getting at here. So just got to set this up here, right? So I just did a bit of, I didn't spend any time doing it, to be honest with you. I spent 5 minutes looking at this, okay? So we've got to bear in mind every 16 to 32 kilometres in today's talk, there was a changing station. So I spent 5 minutes today, okay? And I notice a few people have asked about stuff like this. Here we go. This is Logan City Council, right? Cobb Co. Map, including all the changing stations for Desert, Glenangie, Woodhill, Jimboomba, McLean, Acacia Ridge. So this is why research is so important for your relic hunting and even gold detecting. And it goes through and tells, it lists out all of the information that you need to know about to track these things down. And okay, maybe you can't get on 3/4 of them or 90% of them. But let me tell you, you can get on some of them. This map here, like this took me 2 seconds to find, right? This is the New South Wales. So railway and changing stations. And coaching routes. Now, I'll guarantee to you, along those coaching routes, every night, 16 to 32 kilometres is a magical, absolute magical relic site. Every 16 to 32 kilometres. So, when people go, I don't know how to find some of these sites, you've got to think about, where can I get the information? Where were people gathered back in, 1870, right? And this is a 5 minute thing. This map here, Queensland I had up before, it's all up there. I haven't even gone to Trove, and Trove would list them all, sort of thing. This is just commonly available stuff when you type in, Cobb Co stagecoach routes. It's all there. So, yeah. So what's Kyla said over here? The old Cobb Co routes classed as old mail roads. Probably. You'd be able to look that up, no trouble at all, Kyle. You establish on one of these maps here. You establish one of those changing stations, right? You can guarantee that either side of that, there's another changing station each side, and it goes on forever. Some of those haven't been touched by a metal detector. So anyway, that's what you got to think of. Maps like this, the libraries and the historical societies are fantastic resources for this. You don't even have to tell your metal detectors. Go in and say, listen, I'm researching the old Cobb Co sites. And normally, if you look at where they stopped, who was that made that point? Mark Moffat. Mark, you're a genius. So, if we look at that, that way it is to you guys. I know I'm looking back to front, but 8 Mile Plains, breakfast at Wayside Inn, right? Logan Home, cross the Logan River, Pimpamar, Bread Cells Inn, right? Coomera, Mrs. Boswell's house. I don't know how to say that. I've given up on my voice tonight. It's driving me insane. What's her name? Mrs. Boswell's house for refreshments. Where's Mrs. Boswell's house? That'd be a fantastic relic site. Cross the river by Coomera River by ferry. So wherever Mrs. Boswell's house is, right? It's not near the Coomera River because they crossed that with the ferry. They would have wanted the rest to change the horses before they crossed the river. So, Nerang, Kennedy's Commercial Hotel. Is that in a paddock now? So, but yeah. Now, if you take this sort of information or get this sort of information about the route between Burke and Walgett, right? Do you think that's been hit by a metal detector, right? Do you think Moree to Tamworth's been hit? There's a lot of these sites out there. Do you think the Ipswich to going up to Warwick has been hit? Not at all. So there's my Dean. Dean mentions here 8 Mile Plains is the Glen Hotel site. So Dean, across the road from the Glen Hotel site is a vacant block of land, right? There's a good seafood van parked there sometimes, directly across the road. I wonder whether anyone's done that vacant block of land. It's a park. So, that's the way I'd look at those sort of things. So, yeah. Oh, here we go, Dean. Up the hill from the Glen used to be an old prison farm too. See, look at the history that's just coming out, just having a chat about this. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on now. I'm sort of, my voice is wearing out. I've had I haven't talked this much in a week. So I think we better pull up there and see if we can give away some prizes, eh? Yeah. So, righto. Who's first tonight? Facebook or... Okay, we'll do this way, right? So remember, next week I'm out at the Lease. There's a whole lot of swear words I want to put in here, but I can't. If the NBN, on their third trip out to the Lease, get the internet connected, which they're supposed to be able to do for the third time, right? We might have a live show by the fire. If the NBN need to come a fourth time, right, I'm going to lose my mind to start with, and then but the next time I'm out there, we'll do a live show direct from the Lease. So, yes, so that's what's happening. So, without even looking at them, right, I've got YouTube here in front of me and I've got Facebook over here. So, Facebook gets the Golden Spur and Gold Diggers goes to YouTube, right? Okay, so let me get this randomizer up and running here. Right, so on YouTube winner for the Gold Diggers patch and the Eureka flag patch, right, goes to Shane Pascoe. So Shane, congratulations, mate. You've got the Gold Diggers patch. Let me just let me run it on, what's this thing called again? Facebook. Facebook is Dale Burgess. Dale, you slipped away from me, mate. So Dale, you need to contact me, and Shane Pascoe, you need to contact me after the show. So Dale, this is going to get confusing. I can tell my brain's not in it. So Dale, contact me. Okay, so just picking up randomly, scales to YouTube. Sorry, I'm getting off the screen here. We'll get the loop to Facebook. I'm losing my mind. I've given up. I haven't given up, but no, I haven't given up, but I'm here. So right, so these this loop goes to Tyler Underwood. Tyler, congratulations, mate. You've won a nice little jeweller's loop. One of the best jeweller's loop I've ever used. So Tyler, congratulations, mate. You've won the loop. Now, let me get YouTube going again. So Dan Allen, congratulations. You will definitely need to contact me. You've won a set of scales, Dan. Congratulations, mate. We're getting to the big prizes. So we've got the hat to give away. We've got a hat and a sieve. Right? Just how I picked them up. YouTube, Facebook. So we'll do YouTube first. YouTube. YouTube goes to Ron Bowring. Ron, you need to contact me, mate. You're in the money for a scoop. You're in the winner's seat for the scoop. My God, maybe this should have been a 45-minute show. I think the last 5 minutes I've just gone out of the control. You've won a sieve. Congratulations, mate. Then we'll go over to the Facebook. Jim Mahoney. Congratulations, mate. You've run the Gold Rat engineering hat. Gold Rat, of course, makes all our sluices and what have you. So congratulations to you. Now, the two big prizes. So this hand, whatever I swing around and pick up first, this hand will be Facebook, this hand will be YouTube. So, Facebook, the world's greatest pouch. YouTube, a very, very good tiger digger. So let's do Facebook first. Belinda Lee. Congratulations, Belinda Lee. You've won a digger's pouch. I will contact you straight after the show. Then, for the big prize on the YouTube, Tiger Digger. These things are an unbreakable shovel. I haven't heard of too many breaking. I'm using the wrong mouse now. Devastating. So this one goes out, the big prize, drum roll please, goes to DP Motors 1. DP Motors 1, I don't know what your real name is, but DP Motors 1, you've got to contact me after the show, and you've won a Tiger shovel, $120 Tiger shovel. So congratulations, guys. They're the winner chicken dinner. So congratulations all. So I will have to rewatch this show on Facebook, I think, to get the winners there, because I've forgot to record them, but clearly I've got them recorded here somewhere. So next week's a maybe show. Next week, if it is a show, whoever's out there Monday on the lease might like to join in. So guys, thanks very much for joining me. It's been nice to be back. I've made it to the end without coughing and spluttering. Don't forget to look at Pasco Lads. Pasco Lads does Tuesday tips. You should have a look at that. Don't forget to subscribe to Gold Diggers YouTube and Facebook. Nicky's Prospecting. Ask Jeff Williams. Whiplash TV show. I'm going to go and watch that now. Cobb Co Festival. Cobb Co. Thank you to Tony and Sandy for sending me a great pen. And thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight as I struggle through. Okay, guys, have a lovely evening. I will see you all possibly next week. Thanks, guys. Night.